computer. All right. We are back, everybody. It's the Dynasty Daddies podcast, episode 4 on the year, second in-season episode. We got the doctor special today. We got none other than the two doctors in the league. We got Steve, and then we got Dylan. Yeah, why don't you guys kick us off with your initial thoughts so far for the season, and yeah, give us your take.
Well, ladies first, so I'm going to let Dylan go first.
Sure. So, I mean, been a fun league so far, fun year. I think that it's been an interesting year. I thought for sure at this point of the season, midway, Vinny would either be undefeated or with most of like one loss. So it's kind of cool to see that that just disappeared.
There you go.
You're good.
Oh, now,
now he definitely disappeared. All right, Steve, what are your thoughts on the league so far?
Good start.
What just happened?
Just left.
I can't believe. Maybe this is part of his surprise. He said he had some surprises. The Houdini could have been part of it.
Yeah.
We don't know what he was wearing underneath that suit.
I heard he wasn't wearing Vinny pants.
Yeah, him and me both. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a pretty surprising season. I think what Dylan was trying to say was like there's been a lot of like it feels like it's the most open league that it's been in a while, where it's like everybody's kind of fighting a little bit.
I just got bombed.
What just got bombed?
Me.
Okay.
But I'm back.
Well, take it away again. Take it away.
Yeah,
You're saying.
Listening. But anyways, I was saying that I think
sloppy right now.
Somebody tried to FaceTime me mid podcast. It totally threw me off Zoom. But anyways, I was saying that I think that it's kind of neat that Vinny has 3 losses because I don't think really anybody coming into this point of the year so far thought that was going to occur. So it just shows that any given week, somebody can pull off a victory, which I think, especially when it comes to the rest of the season, comes to playoff time, is going to become very entertaining to watch because I do think that while Vinny is still the team to beat, it shows that any team can get hot any week and can win. So it'll be it's going to be very interesting to see if the top dogs in the league right now, Steve, Marty, Vinny, etc., can basically stay rolling with it, or if somebody's going to kind of sneak in around that 5-6 seed and then make some noise with a splash for a week. So it'll be fun to see as the weeks go ahead.
How do you feel about your team itself? Like it, love it, hate it?
Couldn't feel worse. I could not feel worse. I hate my team so much. I hate them all. It's a fire sale. Everybody, if you guys want to trade, I'm trading everybody. So
I'm gonna be honest. This is the first hot take of many coming on this podcast. I think that you are in the Alex Berrigan trouble right now, where you're just in this constant rebuild, where you trade for a couple picks, you get a couple players, couple injuries here, and then all of a sudden you're just like always this like bottom 3-4 team. I think you're in that way for like the next little bit. I don't
Yeah, it's gonna be a 3 to 5 year rebuild for sure. I'm hoping that Hugo keeps losing so I can capitalize on his pick that I have next year, and we go from there.
Real quick question for you, Dylan. You, Brendan, Danny, who where do you 3 finish in the end of the season?
I'm gonna be 9. Danny's gonna be 10. I think Brendan's gonna leapfrog me to 8. Yeah, I like Brendan's team. I said it. I like his team. I've said it from the get-go.
Yeah,
his team is a little spicy. It's young. It's got promise. I think he's one of those teams that could drop 200 points sneakily on a week, and all he's going to have to do is catch somebody that has a bad week, and he can pull off a victory. So I don't think anybody really expected him to even have 2 wins at this point. And so who knows? I like his team, and I think Danny's team is way worse than mine, and my team is ass. So,
Well, so thanks for sharing those thoughts, Dylan. They're pretty sad, pretty depressing. I do have some thoughts, but I think I have someone coming in here that might have a little more to say. Drum
what
roll.
The hell?
Who
the hell is this?
What the hell, dude?
What a surprise.
the guest.
What's up,
Wow.
everybody?
Holy shit. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. What's going on, boys?
Oh
Secret
my
guest appearance?
He's here to
The
admit.
champion
He's
is
here
here.
to admit his faults.
Don't just crash our podcast, dude.
How long did
The
Steve
AI
have you hidden in the
pointed
closet
me.
for?
The AI pointed me here. I didn't know the password, but I put in the AI and it said, type in your favorite sport. And that's
Is
Is
all
that the
it
same AI that you used to
Yeah.
run your team?
Was that also a $70?
was. Hey, there's no proof I still have an account. There's no
Screen
proof.
share. Screen share right now.
There's no proof. Nobody has any.
So
Pretty
I
sure
thought it'd be a
Steve
good time
shared
to
the
bring-
proof.
I think it would be a good time to bring Brian on because we do have this as an intervention. Brian, you're completely delusional about your team, and we all know you're still using Fantasy Pros.
Guys,
Rumor has it their subscription went up to $100 too.
the only person delusional is Hugo, and we know this. You know, it's fall season, so he's only drinking pumpkin French toast beer. We know this. He tweets it every year. And that's about all he does. He doesn't know anything about fantasy football. He talks like he does. He ends up 6th place every single year. So if you want to talk delusional, we have our guy.
Got to put on my face shield so that way I don't get any collateral ricochets.
Can't argue this.
It's also laugh out loud funny that I put first place and Brian put champion.
Oh.
The egos of
We're
this,
just
chat
sharing
in this
our thoughts
podcast right
on the
now.
league so far this year.
Well, Brian-
What's your disappointment
Great year.
level, Brian? 0 to 10. What's your disappointment level this year on your performance?
I'm not disappointed in my performance at all. My team is.
That's not
is
a confident
going to
man.
the
You can't even say it without laughing. Dude.
Hey,
That's-
you're fired.
I had a tough start, all right, but I'm a good team manager, and I've brought in some pieces that are bringing me to the championship. Kareem Hunt, Quentin Johnson's all of a sudden starting to be a good player.
He had
We got a
one good catch. He had one catch.
Yeah. Oh, well, he'll have a couple more next week. We got Drake May friggin' tossing all over the place. You know, Pop is going to be popping off. He's just
How many
got a
times
bunch
have you
of
started
players.
Drake May so far this year?
He hasn't needed to start him because he has Baker.
My point exactly.
That trade should be. Do you wish you could have that trade back, Marty?
Joe Burrow just threw 5 touchdowns last week. I think I'm all right.
Did
If
you
anything,
win?
he was just taking up a roster spot for me. It makes more sense for me to trade him. So I think I got a fair deal for him.
All right, so over under 6 months till you trade Anthony Richardson.
Me? No, I got to hold him.
Who's trading
He-
for him though?
he just
Like,
needs-
I don't think anyone wants him. He's a bum.
Dude, he hasn't played that
I'd
many
trade for
games
him.
yet.
I'd
Like
trade
just
for him.
like
There's our
in his
podcast
career.
right
Whoa.
now.
Saying you trade for him doesn't mean anything. It's going to be like a 3rd or a 4th rounder, dude. So that's
Third was a
not even
starting
worth
point.
it. There's a starting
Third was a
point.
starting
Yeah, okay. I know exactly how you talk trade, Steve. No, I wouldn't trade for Richardson though, personally.
Well, Brian, you ranked yourself number 1. You're obviously not there right now. What has gone wrong so far?
Injuries, man. I thought I'd have McCaffrey, and that guy made my team last year. I mean, he can put up 50 points in a week or more. So once I get him back, I really do have a solid squad. Like I just beat Vinny this week. I mean, everyone was saying his team is the best team. I just beat it. I don't
Love
know.
that.
What are you guys' thoughts?
You did beat him. Yeah, that was a good one. Vince is a little vulnerable this year, I feel like. So, I beat him too. I didn't think I had a chance of beating him. Brian beat him. I didn't think he had a chance. I don't know who else beat Vince. Was Jorge this year? This is 3 losses.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think if there's nothing else true, it's just that fantasy football is such a karma, don't jinx yourself. As soon as Vinny said, I have statistics that only 3 times out of the 4 times I've lost in the last few years is all Jorge, he just kept losing to people.
Yeah, he jinxed himself, honestly. When he said that.
Yeah, you can't. Is that a Stella?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I can't say anything. I'm drinking out of a Papa mug.
Dude, just bring him water.
But my thoughts on the season were that it's a very surprising season so far because it feels like everybody kind of has a shot. It's been like up and down, I feel like, for a lot of people. I mean, I'm not going to talk about my team too much, but I feel pretty good about it because I, like Brian, felt counted out going into this year, but I feel like I've improved since the start of the season with who I have, and I think I have a decent chance to compete. I still think it's Vinny's league to win. I think Jorge looks way more vulnerable this year because he doesn't have a ton of depth, and without ETN popping and without like magic weeks from some of his like top dogs, I think he's kind of like he has a chance to lose a lot more than he used to. So I don't know. Hot take, I think me or Marty's going to be in the championship this year.
Fingers crossed.
It's gonna be you versus
Hopefully,
Marty?
it's just a new
You just say
champion.
one of you.
That's Yeah, just a new champion, please.
I
No
think
repeats.
No,
I think
we
Brian
don't
will
want
agree that this circle is not looking to expand.
it's a tight knit circle. We got to keep it that way.
Yeah.
No. That needs to expand.
The jerks are between an 8 and a 10 quality every single
But
time.
it does seem like it's been a harder year for trades to go through. People don't really seem very adamant to trade, and the free agents are like super slim pickings. I think Brian getting Kareem was like one of the snags of the year. But like other than that, there hasn't really been too many like free agent popping.
Brian, did you just pick
didn't
up
even have to use
Kareem?
a waiver? Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't even have to use
Marty
a waiver.
dropped him.
Lucky on that one.
I dropped him when he was a free agent, and then he got signed. But tough. Well, to be fair, like last year he got signed by the Browns. He didn't really have much production there, but the Chiefs have no one else to hand the ball off to besides like Perrine. So he's getting like 20 plus carries every single week. I just didn't think that would be happening.
He's been revitalized. It's like this is a Kareem Hunt of old. It's been good.
Is Pacheco actually coming back? This could be a good segue into the injury segment.
Yeah.
So
I believe
Yeah.
he's.
Do you think it'll be a big impact though? Like Kareem's doing pretty damn good.
Of course.
Pacheco
dude.
is nasty. He's
top 10 running back when he's healthy.
If anything,
Yeah.
they'll probably still use Kareem, but he's not gonna be getting 20 touches. He'll probably get like half of that, maybe less.
I mean, Dylan can share his thoughts too, but this isn't really an injury that is going to like really hinder his performance. I don't believe it's a non-weight bearing part of his leg.
And I'd rather him come back from a fracture. And like Steve just said, fibula doesn't bear weight. So coming back from a fracture, that bone's going to theoretically be a little bit stronger on the other end anyways, once it fully heals. So you're better to come back from the fracture than a soft tissue injury, like a ligament tear or something like that. So I think coming back, I mean, it'll take him a couple of weeks to kind of get his like game speed back up, but I think he'll be fine towards like playoff time fantasy wise. You'll want him.
I don't even think it'll take a couple of weeks. I mean, just the way the Chiefs like play and use him and stuff like that, he can get like an easy touchdown, and like I feel like a 60-yard game and a touchdown is like a floor for him. So if you think of like just the first downs, I feel like he's probably going to come in like an easy like 14-15 just from the start.
To your point too, Brian, they don't really have to rush him back in either. They can ease him back in. They're doing good enough so they can still give Kareem a lot of touches, but I think over time Pacheco is going to be back and he'll be cooking for Danny, but just
it'll take away, but things have been good as they are for me.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to share something with you. I have this voicemail from Brendan, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on what he says in it. You ready?
Oh, God.
Is this the one where you missed the liking, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to say.
Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Yep. It's sad that you lost to me. Not really, though, because my team's way better than everyone's saying. I'm making the playoffs.
When was this voicemail recorded?
It wasn't like as in a couple weeks, but it looks like he left it for me September 24th. So he was.
What's the timestamp? Was that a 4 a.m.?
For those who couldn't hear,
no.
Brendan claimed that he's making the playoffs.
That is wild.
And he said, "Mark my words, I'm making the playoffs."
You're 2-7.
And he's 2-7.
No, but remember, he only expected himself to be 7th. Remember, doesn't matter what he said to Brian.
No, he said he called himself being 9th. Yet he left me a voicemail saying, "I'm making playoffs. Mark my words."
Yeah, what time was that at, dude? He must have been hammered.
Yeah, well, he started drinking early that day because it says it was like 11 a.m.
Whoa. Damn.
What a cocky bastard.
Yep.
You want to just hover over that 7-2 team? It looks pretty fucking good right now. I'm gonna be honest.
2-7.
Uh,
It's 7-2.
You know what sucks is I've had the number 1 waiver all year, and Brian had it last year and he used it for fucking Josh Dobbs. And I was like, hell yeah, this year it can be the year I can pick someone up. There's been no one worth using that on this whole year.
Steve, on your team, which player is the player that has surprised you the most in a positive way and surprised you the most in a negative way?
Honestly, if you go to Garrett Wilson, I'm pretty sure he's a top 3 wide receiver right now. So that's been a surprise.
Number 3.
So he's just been consistent as shit, honestly. So that's been good to see. And he's honestly been better since they got Devontae. So he's been a pretty good surprise, I think. He's probably my number 1 surprise, I think. I think Dobbins, like, he's just kept up with when I traded for you. he's been good. Disappointment, honestly, is like all the other wide receiver twos I thought were gonna pop. DJ Morris kind of sucked. Waddle trading for Hughes kind of sucked. Watson sucked. Like, thank God McConkey's been decent, and like I've been able to rotate people out because I always had a wide receiver 2 issue, and it still is the same issue. And honestly, I'm getting a little worried about quarterback. I think my quarterback future is like not so hot. Trevor's been super disappointing.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's
I tried to
serviceable
trade
though.
you
If you can
for
start
him.
him.
Tried to take him off your hands, Steve. You negotiated with me for a couple hours, verbally agreed, and then never accepted. That's karma.
We're just gonna ignore like half the shit Brian says on this.
Yeah.
What? That is fact. That's fact.
Honestly, I was thinking Goff was a better fantasy quarterback given how good the
Yeah, he
Lions have
was
been.
nasty
15
last
is
year.
middle of the
They
pack,
just
but I
Run
thought
the
he'd be better.
ball, dude. They
They
just keep running the
don't throw
ball.
it much. Yeah, I don't know. But
Yes,
yeah,
I
I don't
offered
know.
you a first for Trevor, a first round pick.
No, you didn't, dude. Why do we have to do this in front of our friends? You didn't offer me a
Well,
freaking first, dude. You spilled your beer on me and you said, I'll give you a first, which was 109, and I give you Trevor in 110.
How about dude? How
What?
about Tank Bigsby, Steve?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
he's been a
that's a
big
lie.
surprise. Yeah, I haven't taken him off the taxi, but he's been a big surprise.
Yeah, I feel like you should take him off your taxi just to have a little more depth. But I mean,
Honestly, I think one thing that I'm always just going to try to be the running back guy, and I feel like I just have the best running backs in the league. So I'm pretty much starting 5 of them with not starting Chubb. Like I don't think need to take him off. He's been kind of disappointing since he started, but
yeah.
haven't
So
really
we're
been
talking
affected
injuries
much.
here. What do you guys think so far about Chubb? The doctors with his coming off his injury, and it just seems like
I mean, he
he's
had a
kind of
pretty
slow to get going.
nasty knee injury. He's 28. I think he's on an absolute ass of a team. So I'm a
Yeah,
little
the team's the
nervous.
shit part.
Yeah, so I'm a little nervous, not necessarily because of his quality of play, but just the quality of play around him. And plus,
Yeah.
coming back from that kind of injury, he's gonna inevitably lose a little bit of a step. I mean, that's a tough one to come back from. So long term, I don't love his outlook.
That's fair. What were the other players? So, and Brian, you kind of came in randomly, and I didn't even get a chance to say the outline, just so we kind of know where we're going. Right now we're doing the injury segment, so we don't want to get too off track. So we already talked about a couple players, but
You could pull up my team. I have a lot of injuries if you want to talk about them.
yeah,
We had like 3
I
of them
think
on the
I think
list.
the McCaffrey one with Brian here would be a good one. That's one that
Yeah.
flip.
Yeah, I won't
Alright,
be sticking on for the whole time, boys. Let's cover McCaffrey, and then I got to get back to my AI to make my trades and stuff like that.
Yeah, all right.
Jesus. Steve, you want to talk a little bit about McCaffrey?
not particularly.
I'll talk about him a little bit then. So basically, I think that, going from a unilateral Achilles to a bilateral Achilles was kind of comical. It's definitely just compensatory on the other side. But I mean, realistically, like people initially at the start of the year were saying, "Oh, it could be a career ender," and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here! It's not a career ender. It's a soft tissue tendon inflammation that he's having a hard time working through pain-wise." But it sounds like he's returning to practice this week. I think once he comes back, if he's healthy and feels good enough to play, I think he's going to be fine. What do you think, Stu?
I trust that, doctor.
I mean, it is a little concerning how much they're slow playing it and the whole like Germany travel thing. Like,
Didn't love the
maybe there's
Germany
some sort of-
travel.
maybe there was some sort of like tearing going
Tear.
on there too, or something where he's just trying to work through. I feel like if they're gonna slow play him this long, I mean, you never know. Fantasy's like hard to predict like that, but I feel like it's hard to see them just like unleashing him right now. But because I mean, it's always mind-boggling to me, man. It's like if this was going on since July, how could they not have this squared away by November with like the staff they have and stuff?
And I think what's important to
I
know
really
for
fucked
like
this
the
up.
layman's like general public too is you got to factor that McCaffrey's probably receiving treatment on that Achilles for like anywhere from 4 to 6 hours a day every day because he's getting paid to rehab, and yet he's still on the shelf for over 5 months.
If it was
So-
minor, he would have already been back.
Correct. So the fact that his body's not healing with literally, I'd say plus or minus between 20 to 30 hours of rehabilitation work per week is definitely a yellow to red flag. And it just shows like soft tissue injuries are just sometimes tough because nobody's going to say that McCaffrey's not super jacked and in shape and doesn't have a body that's equipped to heal. It just shows that injuries can take anybody down.
Is anyone else a little concerned that Dylan has the glove on that no one saw him put on?
Actually, I actually got two on me. Wait till I
fully
talk.
equipped.
The only thing concerning about McCaffrey
this baby.
is I saw an Instagram video or something like that, and he was dressed up like the Tin Man.
I did see
concerning.
That. Yeah, he looked pretty sad too.
Yeah, it was just. That's a pretty funny video. If you haven't seen it, look it up.
Just out of curiosity, why did he go to Germany? Like, is Germany known for like having better medicine or better rehab?
I'm safely assuming it's because he probably had multiple opinions. He probably had multiple opinions stateside, tried probably everything you can think of based on injections, stem cell, whatever. Nothing was working. So he was like, shit, what do I do now? So they probably found this like holistic guru over in Germany to try something different.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on from McCaffrey here.
All right,
staying
guys,
on, Brian?
I'm going to disconnect.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to disconnect.
What is
I want to get out of
Brian?
here before Bowish starts trying to trade me. He wants to get me to take Trevor Lawrence off his hands, and I don't want to trade him for him. So,
Brian, before you go,
good talking, boys. See
ya.
Brian, dude. Oh wow, dude! Doesn't give a shit.
God,
I'm surprised you guys on that one.
I was gonna give him Zay Flowers for cheap, but whatever.
It's got dad stuff to do.
You guys didn't see that coming, did you?
No. What is it? What did you do?
Didn't see that coming, did you?
What a surprise!
Oh, Brian, no, that was a nice surprise. That was funny. Good stuff. This may be the best podcast we've done so far.
Totally throw us off on what we were actually covering, though. I have no idea where we're at this point. We're just
on the injury segment. We'll talk about a few more injuries here. I think you guys want to talk about Nico coming back.
Nico's concerning because the hamstring's going like longer than they expect. He's like he should be returning this week and he's not. I think there's a huge like re-aggravation potential for an injury like that. Plus, I find that Dylan could probably speak to it too. The tall, big dudes just tend to like once they get these soft tissue injuries, they kind of just stick with them. It's like Keenan Allen has had it for a bit. Like I'm trying to think of another. There's like another recent hamstring guy like
T. Higgins,
Mike Evans.
Like once you start getting like these like Julio at the end of his like career, it's like once you start getting these like soft tissue things and you're like these big, really fast, explosive dudes, it's like they tend to kind of stick around a little bit.
Especially where Nico's put him on the IR like right away. That probably safely tells you it was probably at least a grade 2 hamstring tear, which is a more significant tear of his hamstring. And I think Steve would agree too, where once you get those hamstring and those soft tissue injuries at the lower extremity, that's when you start to see these like miscellaneous, like, oh, now he pulled his calf. Now all of a sudden his Achilles is in danger. Oh, his knee's in danger. Like it just puts other joints around let's say from the hip down in jeopardy. And so Nico, I mean, they just got to ease him in. They're not going to unleash him right away. At least they shouldn't.
We just talk about how he is still wide receiver 16, even though he missed the last 4 weeks.
Just
technically 4.5, I guess. But
absolute beast.
Yeah. He's a stud. That's fortunate that Vince has him. All right. What was that? What did you say? You had players on your team you wanted to talk about here?
Right now I have. I mean, kind of building off of what you guys already said about hamstring injuries. Mike Evans, Diggs is obviously out for the year now with an ACL tear. But DK could be back off the bye week, and then and they need him, and then Mike Evans. Same thing. I think he's got a bye week coming up, and that's when they're having him. I think he's out this week. They have a bye maybe week 11.
If you want my professional opinion on Mike Evans, though, I wouldn't hold your breath that he's going to suddenly come back week 11.
I don't think so either.
Him going down, he immediately grabbed that hamstring like it pulled straight off the bone. It may not have, but nonetheless, I'm like, that's going to linger. I would not hold your breath that you're going to have Evans until playoffs at the earliest.
And it was just like Bulls just saying after the bye, like they're optimistic, like maybe he comes back. And there's this thing called like, if we're talking like advanced stats, there's like this thing called like coach speak, like accuracy percentage. And it's like how often is like what they say about a player actually what happens. And his is only like 50% or something like that.
Do you have to pay for that stat?
I'm not telling you where I get it. I don't pay for it though. I don't pay for
it. At least with money.
Yeah, Marty, you got...
the other big injury I think we need to talk about is Hugo's rectum. it's just been spread so wide for how much shit he's been talking all year,
Dude.
how good he is, where he deserves to be, all this stuff. It's like,
dude, why do you think I put the gloves on? The amount of
How much-
colonoscopies that man's going to need in the offseason when he loses is going to be insane.
all it was my depth is so good, dude. My bench is better than Brendan's starting lineup. And then
Dude,
all of a sudden he gets a couple
smack.
injuries and doesn't have the
Smack.
depth.
Smack.
Oh, that was a pretty good impression of Hugo's voice there. Do that again.
Yeah, actually, it did sound a little like.
It did. It did.
But to be honest, like, I don't know, his team's still very good and stuff, but it's just like,
He'll be a playoff team. He'll be in the playoffs. Y'all have a chance.
He'll lose round 1.
He
It's
is
just
who
not
we
as,
thought
like-
he was.
it's not as good as we thought. But I will say Cooper Kupp has been much better coming back than anticipated. And Matt, this is gonna kill you. This has to kill you. The
What?
Tillman pickup is money, dude. He's been nasty the last couple weeks.
I dropped him so long
You
ago.
held him for
I don't know.
like what, 2 years and then dropped him. Like, there's nothing worse than dropping someone who starts popping off, especially in this league with how deep it is.
Has Tillman even been in the league for 2 years?
I think I held him for like a year. I don't know. After his rookie year, I think I dropped him. I don't even know what.
You dropped him like a couple weeks ago, this year before he popped. Show me the stats.
a couple weeks ago. You're talking out of your ass. What?
Go to his team.
But we need to see the proof.
It's on Hugo's team. I know it's hot. His team's ranked higher than you'd think. Hard to find. There he is. Go to history.
At the bottom.
Dropped in August.
I dropped him this summer.
Okay.
Well, I'm wrong.
While
I
we're on,
literally held on to him for a year. He didn't do shit in his rookie year. I don't know. They had
While we're on
they had
Hugo's-
Judy. I don't know.
can we talk about a crucial pickup that Hugo made?
Don't say
And
non-Belly,
keep
because how
scrolling,
many
keep
times-
scrolling, keep scrolling.
The kicker?
Let's look at Chris Boswell. All right, let's get off of Hugo's team. Let's move on.
Oh god. All right. Any more injuries you guys want to talk about?
I don't know if it's injury related, but I think it may be. I mean, partially injury, partial disappointment. You can go to his team too. Kind of bleeds into it. ETN's like hamstring injury, just like kind of thrown off his season, and I think like Jorge's team has been pretty shown to. I almost did it again. Did you guys hear that?
Oh God.
It was so bad. Jorge's team has been
Jesus
like,
Christ, dude.
pretty bad. Like, without he just doesn't have the depth that you would think, considering he won it last year. Like if ETN hasn't been doing good, his running back's a little all over the place. Like, go to the rest of his team. Like, it's just like not Laporta not having the #1 year. Like, if his team last year just like hit on all cylinders, and now it's kind of like it's got a lot more holes than you would think.
Sam Laporta has to be one of the most disappointing players in fantasy for anybody so far this year.
Honestly,
Sophomore slump, dude.
that I think Pittman too. Go to Pittman.
Pittman's been awful.
Pittman was like a staple of consistency last year, where he was good for like at least like 18 points every single week. This year, like it's just not there.
He's still consistent this year. It's just consistent ass licking.
Yeah, just not good enough. Not starter caliber.
You know
Not
something about that, Dylan, don't you? But,
That's for another podcast. That's not a fantasy football one.
I think I've heard Marty say Michael Pittman's a staple of consistency on every single podcast this year.
I love Michael Pittman.
You love saying that Michael Pittman is a staple of consistency.
Well, I had him for like 2 years back to back in Hudson Dynasty, and he was part of the reason why I won. So I believe in him.
well, it's kind of crazy to see. Like, it just really is. Like last year, I feel like everything hit for Jorge, and he did fantastic. And now he's still like holding his own, but it's like now he's getting the exact opposite, where like his guys are having like worst years, and he just doesn't really have the depth to like make it up. I don't think.
I'd say a bright spot is probably Leggett. If you go to Leggett, I think he's got back-to-back weeks with
Starting him?
touchdowns
Where is
now.
he?
No, he's on his bench.
We're not seeing him. Where the fuck is he?
You just passed him
Oh,
like
there he is.
3 times.
Xavier Leggett.
Yeah, last couple of weeks, touchdowns.
Yeah,
So I don't know. For a rookie, is not that
Yeah,
bad.
he's trending upward. They're moving Deontay Johnson off the team too, and Mingo. Like that's his wide receiver room now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jorge's still competing. I mean, I definitely think he's underperforming
Tracy
compared to what
too
we're
is
talking about.
actually pretty good, honestly,
Yeah. He's
Did he draft Tracy?
for a rookie. Yeah.
He's gonna start starting him over ETN at this point, honestly.
Got him in the third. That's pretty good. That's a good hit. 307.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singletary's starting to get worked out more and more, and Tracy's getting more of the carries, and he looks way more explosive.
All right. We'll move on from injury segment here. What we got next? Oh, we want to look at the trade block next, since this is going to be the last podcast before the trade deadline, which I think is week 12 off the top of my head. We'll just look at the trade block real quick and talk about who's worth trading for on here. Probably none of them, but we'll see. Why is it so freaking tiny?
That's what she said.
I'm sorry to hear that, Steve. All right.
It's not that much, honestly, on there.
Yeah.
What the hell, dude? Brennan has Mahomes on the trade block. Good luck.
Oh, he does. He does.
Yeah, 2 firsts.
Steve, you're trading Derrick Henry, dude?
This trade block is so old, man. I don't even know who's on it at this point, which is part of the issue with the trade block, I guess. But no, I wouldn't trade him. I wouldn't.
Okay.
If I was out of it, I certainly would.
I mean,
at this
DJ
point, I'll
Moore?
trade any picks for players.
you still trade DJ Moore?
Yeah, I'd trade him.
What do you want for him?
What do you want for him?
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
He wants DJ Moore.
Yeah, I'd like him for free then. If you were talking, what do I want for him?
I don't know. I'd have to look at your team. Put it up there. Let's get the first
I don't
podcast.
have, I don't have much to offer you.
That's not a good starting point.
Yeah, this is how the talks usually go.
I'll give you Dalton Schultz and I'll give you Dalton Schultz and $10.
Whoa. That's
We don't take
collusion
money
right
in this
there.
league.
This is a recorded line.
Dude, you don't have fucking anybody.
Hey, take that back. My team's loaded with shit.
I laughed looking at I don't know how I got into this, but I was looking at Miles Sanders last night. And dude, you traded 2 firsts for him. Dude, Matt, pull it up. Like a year to the day of when you traded him to Vinny. Look at the difference. Look at that. It was like a year later. He's like, I want him back.
Yeah,
Like,
fucked up.
He traded him to Vinny, and then a year later, he did the 2 firsts. And I was looking at his 2022 year, and it wasn't even good. Like I'm like,
He had 15
I was trying to
touchdowns.
put myself in your head at like 10 p.m. last night, and it just literally kept me up.
I literally had my dick in my hand, dude.
I think he had a good 2022
He had
season. I'm pretty
15 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Look
sure.
at the way he ended the year. And the 15 touchdown is such a Dylan stat. That's not true.
He had multiple
Yes,
weeks
it
with over
is.
140 yards. I think he had a
But
good
look at the
year in
last couple
2022.
weeks. Past week 15, he didn't get over 10 points, and Dylan's like, that's the guy I want to give 2 firsts for.
All right, he had 11 touchdowns. I rounded up a little bit. Whatever.
All right, so you got 60% of it.
He's ranked 15. That's probably where you got to confuse. He was the 15th best running back. So
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I was super horny. I liked him going to Carolina because I thought Bryce Young was not going to be an ass.
Dylan,
And
being horny is not an excuse, dude. You're always horny. So
All right, so just tell us this. How
Horny is
many
baseline.
times of regret? How much regret have you had over the years since that trade? Like, how many times does it pop in your head and you get mad about it? Over.
I
under,
haven't had an erection in about 6 months. A lot of regret.
over the years, it's been 1
I'm
year.
a little worried about how often Dylan keeps bringing it back to erections or asses. Like, there's
Fantasy
something going
football
on
is
here.
all sex for Dylan, dude. It's
Yeah,
it's all
what's
sexual.
like some people have kinks, but this is Dylan's kink apparently. Like, I don't know where he's coming up this. Like, no one's bringing this to this.
Do you work with a lot of football players, Dylan? Is this where it's coming full
If
circle?
he does, I'm concerned based on how he's going to respond.
The average age of my patients is about 74 years old.
Oh, well.
So not really.
All right.
Sadly.
I mean,
don't
dude,
think we're gonna
you
do
You know
said
what?
he's a quarterback,
That's
maybe
probably
Tua.
for the best, Dylan. It's probably for the best.
You don't have a single wide receiver I would trade for.
Zay Flowers.
You would trade for Zay. Shut the fuck up.
He looked
Yeah,
great
he
last
would.
week.
Stays pretty solid. Yeah, honestly, I'm just looking at a bunch
Just-
of trash on the
Just
block
go by
here.
Just go by position. Just start with quarterbacks.
All right, we got Rodgers, Cousins, Geno, Jared Goff, Mahomes, Murray, Tua, Lawrence. Howell's
Sam Howell, dude.
Yeah, Sam
You can
Howell.
take him off the trade block, dude. I don't think anyone's going for that.
Yeah,
Just you wait. You know how fantasy works. I'm gonna drop him or like whatever. And then as soon as I do, Gino's gonna get like a season-ending injury, and Howell's gonna light it up. This is how it fucking works, dude.
Don't sleep on the fact that Howell was like number 17 overall for quarterbacks last year.
Dude,
Should have traded him, Steve.
He was top 5 when Alex. I've thought about that one in cold sweats. He was top 5 like halfway through last year when
12.
Alex sent me a first in 2026, and I said no.
You mean Danny?
Yeah, Danny did it.
Danny did, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember Danny was talking about that.
That would have crippled him. That was right when you traded him Brock Purdy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I traded him a second. Or for a second rather.
I mean, Dylan, you have quarterbacks. Tua
like-
and Kyler.
Plus, plus Bryson. Honestly, on my taxi, I got Bo Nix, and Bo Nix has been pretty good this year. He's top 10.
Yeah.
So I like my QB situation. I like my tight end situation with Hawkinson and Njoku and Schultz. My running backs below, my wide receivers below. But
I've been trying to get Hawkinson from you for like forever.
I've only had him for about, I don't know.
Steve, all of your running backs are on the trade block, I think.
Are they?
Madison. Oh, no, you don't Madison.
Gibbs. You have Gibbs on it. You have
Gibbs.
Bijan on there. Scroll down.
What
Yep.
the?
Hit me up.
Bijan
Everybody's
Oh, he's the
available,
bottom
dude.
there, yeah.
Wow.
And
Everybody's
Hugo's picks
available.
up here. He just has picks on the block. Doesn't have any players.
Steve's literally just placing players on the trade block to tease Dylan. That's
Hugo has
basically
a
what it
pick.
is. Get his blood flowing.
It's true. Hugo has a pick on the block that's not even valid
Yeah, what the hell?
anymore.
What did that pick end up being? That's Xavier, isn't it?
That was Xavier Worthy, yeah. Which you must have traded out of, right?
To me.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it still on there? That's weird. That's gonna be a glitch. All right. I don't know if I'm really trading for too many players in this block here. I think honestly, as a league, we need to clean up our
You
trade
think
block.
you think the
great
Tyler
players in this.
Johnson deal actually was offered by Vinny and Brian said no?
I don't know. Be curious to see if there's a screenshot of that conversation out there, and I mean, he started Ray Davis and it worked for him, so I don't think he's.
There's
looking
some
back
decent
on that
tight
one.
ends if someone's needing a tight end. Goddard and Hawkinson. Hawkinson's back. Goddard.
I'm so
been-
over Pitts, man.
D-Hop's
He's
an
such a
interesting one,
teaser.
Steve.
Who?
D-Hop.
Well, you know what they say, dude. There's actually been people saying lately that he's the new like Brady and Moss connection with Mahomes. And I mean, if you do the stats, if you go down to his last week, if he were to do that every single week, he'd be wide receiver 2 right now.
Do you think he's going to get 8 catches for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns every single week?
I think his floor is 5 catches, 60 yards with the first downs, 15 points every week from here on out.
I won't discredit that. I think that's about that.
They don't
I
even
know-
use Worthy, dude. They don't even use him. It's sad. It's literally sad. It's
I do think Worthy shooting himself in the foot, though. Did you see? He was wide open down the sideline. He had no concept
He's
of
not
where his
catching
feet-
the ball well, yeah.
No
Did you know
concept.
there's one? Did you know what team is most surprising to you guys so far this season?
Vikings.
Start.
No, I'm talking about our league.
Oh,
The
Matt, you
most
wanna start?
surprising?
I would say Danny. Oh, sorry, my bad. You say Matt.
Yeah, just pick it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say Danny. I just didn't expect Danny to be in last place at this point. I think there was a lot of teams where we thought they would, like Brendan, where we thought he was going to be at the bottom of the list there. I think unanimously the league thought that pretty much. So just the fact that it's Danny and not him, I think Danny's been hit hard with injuries. And granted, Danny has made some trades to get picks too. So I just think a lot of the players Danny has come to rely on, like Olave, Rashad White, are kind of failing him, and it's placing him in last place. So to me, I think it's Danny, but it's just my pick there. Or Alex Danny,
Rashad White's been sneaky okay, though.
as of late, but
Yeah.
he had a slow start.
True.
Yeah, with Bucky.
Bucky is getting a good amount of the touches too now, so it's
I think
I
White
don't
on
know.
6 touches.
Corey
left.
has been surprising for me.
You want to
Yeah.
elaborate?
Not a ton. I just think like like he had a great year last year, but I think it's just everything went right. I think he's like a good team for sure that can pop off, but he doesn't seem as like going into this year. I think we all thought that he was like one at worst two, and now he's like a top 5 team. But I don't really see him much different than like a I don't know what the like Matt. I honestly think you. This is a hot take, but I think you, Hugo, and Jorge are kind of in a tier. And I think right now, me, Marty, and Vinny are in our own tier too.
Yeah,
strictly based on points. Did you know there's only one team in the league that scored over 200 points the last 5 games?
I'm guessing it's you.
Yeah, I hate to. I'm pulling a Hugo right now, but
yeah,
it's true. I was looking at it today. I was like, holy shit! Because Marty, you and me average basically 200 a game. Vinny still averages like 212 a game, which is insane.
Yeah, my team's on the decline right now, dude, with injuries. But I think for the most part, minus Diggs, I think I'll be okay in the long run. But if I suffer another injury, I think it could be, especially if I lose a running back, it could be pretty damning for me. If Vince loses a player, like he already lost Nico, I think he'll still be fine. So I don't know. And I think you would too, Steve, now with DeAndre. So I think I'm in a kind of a sketchy spot. I think you and Vince are more. I think if I had to place money on it, I think you two have the buys locked up. But
Marty, excluding injuries, what does your team need to do in order to get you to a championship this year?
At this point, I think realistically, in order for my team to make it to the championship, it has to stay healthy. At this point, some of the players that I was kind of hoping would be options for me are looking less likely to help me win a championship, like Eckler, Xavier Worthy. I might be honestly starting to rock 2 tight ends for the rest of the season, dude. I might just be starting Kittle and McBride just because they're more But like I said. Yeah, like I said, I think if I get hit with another serious injury, I think it could be pretty significant.
Same question to you, Steve. What does your team need to do, excluding injuries, to pull out a championship this year?
Well, not to shit on my fellow running mate Marty here, but Dylan asked what you could do. You can't control the injuries. It's about what you can do as a team manager. And in reality, we can't control the injuries. In my defense, I think that I've built up some depth from this year of getting Dobbins, getting Waddle, having some players that
McConkey too is a freaking
McConkey
actually looking good.
Taxi. He's been pretty consistent. You know what he reminds me of, Dylan? Is kind of like the old school Eric Decker, where he was always 15 a week.
That one year is like 2014. He didn't have any more than 15 points and any less than 13 points all year.
It's like he's just like that. He just feels like he's just like the steady wide receiver too.
Yeah, look at his targets, dude. Like completely consistent.
Great.
Yeah,
they're great
for a rookie. It's great.
He's been kind of going under the radar too. I didn't realize he was top 20. Honestly, I knew he's having a good rookie year.
Play too. He's like wicked fast. Like he can like get in and out of cuts like really well.
It seems like he's like a pretty smart player when it comes to his routes too. Like he stops a lot and helps the quarterback a lot. And just by getting open and being in the right place. So
I think realistically, like I feel like I have enough depth. Like I'm starting 5 running backs right now. So buys or injuries, I think I can shuffle them around. Wide receiver, like I can shuffle around a little bit. I think in reality, what I could do to secure myself getting further is honestly making sure I'm doing the little things of like kicker and defense, but also I think I need to figure out a backup tight end solution, because if Kyle Pitts goes down as fluky as he's been, I'm in trouble.
I don't know, dude. Taysom Hill, dude.
What's one player on your team that's been excellent so far that's going to end up fucking you over in the playoffs?
Because I'm a Jets fan, it's going to be Garrett Wilson 100%.
Okay.
Or Derrick Henry's going to run out of steam at the end of the year.
He gets better as the season goes on, though.
Yeah. That offense looks so good.
Anybody else mind when you looked at the time of the Jets game and it's at 3:00, but we realized that Matt's in Texas?
Oh, yeah. Don't get confused by that, guys.
Wow, it's totally adjusted to that already? Like when you just log it in, it just auto changes to that?
Yeah.
Wait, so all the games are at 3:00 and the 1:00 are at noon? That's fucking money.
You know who the player is for, I think, Steve? If any player is going to burn out, I think it's James Conner. It's not going to be Derrick Henry.
I like that answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
feel
you
like
do.
he
How
is
do you feel
that
about
guy
that
at the
take,
end of the
Dylan?
season that's just not there. I feel like that is him. He's great in the regular season, and then towards the end of the
Figures that up.
season, yeah.
Like he's banged up right now, still with a finger issue.
If he can't play through a finger issue, he doesn't deserve to be in my starting lineup.
Probably won't be catching too many balls, but
Matt, not including injuries, what does your team need to do in order to make a good deep playoff run?
Not punch players. That'd be nice.
Play, so that's the first thing.
Yeah, just don't be. Yeah, as far as things I can do, I probably will make a trade here leading up to the trade deadline. Depending on how these next couple weeks go, either to make a push or kind of I don't know. I'm right on the fringe. I'm at 6 right now, so I could miss playoffs. So if it's looking like that in a couple weeks here, maybe I'll start trading some assets away for get some picks or whatever next year. But I don't know. I just traded for Mostert. I think I can kind of start him, and you know I have good enough depth where I can have options. Keenan Allen's been kind of let down this year. Yeah, just kind of sticking with it, sticking with players, looking at their matchups, and I have a pretty good starting roster here. Like Jaden Daniels keeps staying healthy
Jaden's a
too.
stud.
He'll
He's a
keep
stud.
me alive.
You got him in the second round this year?
Yeah,
201.
201.
201, yeah, that's a hell of a pick.
I was targeting in there. I was like hoping he would fall out of the first round, and he did. So
I would say over the past three to 4 years, you've become the QB drafting savant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud's got to be a disappointing guy for you. Like there was no way you thought coming off last year that you'd be benching him.
No, Matt has said that he was going to be the MVP.
I did.
He's definitely on record for saying that.
Yeah, I did.
You literally nicknamed him Daddy.
Yeah, he is. He was daddy. I guess Daniels is the daddy now. He's rookie of the year though. I think he will be.
Yeah, I think that's at this point it's pretty much guaranteed.
Just gonna keep going with the guys I got here. I think Wendell's been a nice little surprise. He's been kind of underperforming the past few weeks, but I've been able to start him at least. Engram's starting to. He's gonna get a lot more targets now. I think with was it Kirk that got hurt and so I don't know. We'll see. I think I'll still be in it. I don't know if there's much I can do to really move up from 6. If most maybe we can move up to 5. I still think I kind of agree with Steve. Like Steve, Marty, and Vince are all like in their own tier. I think they're kind of going to interchange 1, 2, and 3. What is it? It's been 4 teams now that have been in first this year already. So it's been kind of like a wheel. It's just kind of like rotating. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep my starting lineup as is, and I think if I get any injuries, I'll be fine. I got enough depth. I do need
All
to
right,
get
Matt,
to start.
so let's hear your hot take then, buddy. Who is going to hold the number 1 seed the longest for the rest of the regular season? How many weeks are left in the regular season? Let's do that math first. What are we, week 10 right now? It's only 4 weeks.
Yeah, 10, 11, 12, 5 weeks left. Yeah. So, actually, I honestly think it's gonna end up being Vince. Just look at his points compared to you and like Vince. You guys are all like right there with him, but like he's got over 130 more points than both of you.
What's his schedule look like?
He's been pretty vulnerable too. Like he's getting injuries, and he's still like putting up a shit ton of points.
CeeDee Lamb might be taking a hit too for the next couple of weeks because no Dak, but he'll probably still be all right.
Actually, what do I got to here? Here we go. So Vince, who's Vince playing this week? Jorge. He's got Jorge this week. I think he probably beats Jorge. It's week 10, week 11. Plays Danny. That's a win. Sorry, Danny. Marty, that'll be close. So maybe he goes 2-1.
He's got a tough
3 weeks here.
Schedule.
He's got you. So he's got maybe he goes 2-2. So I don't know. It could be any one of you 3. Honestly, it'll be close. I know Hugo's gonna be pissed that I'm not including him in part of that conversation, but what do we rank Hugo? 4 on our power
10.
rankings, and
he was ranked 4, yeah,
and that's right where he is, and that's right where I think a lot of us expected him to be. Like I'm not saying he'll compete in the playoffs, but if we're looking at the rest of the year here, I think it's going to be either Marty, Steve, or Vince, and I think I'm going to take Vince. I got him in my last week. Look at my fucking 132 points, and I'm probably losing that week. That's my starting guys. I haven't adjusted my lineup yet, but
yeah, I got a tough schedule coming up. I got Hugo, Jorge, and Vinny.
I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't look like I do. I have Danny, and then it looked like I had Dylan. No offense.
You got Danny this week.
I'm taking.
You beat me before. I think this was.
Dylan.
Didn't you beat me this year?
I beat you in the playoffs. I've beaten you several times.
Yeah, but it looks like your bye weeks are coming up on that week. You got a lot of players that are going to be down, so that's probably a win for you.
The sad thing is, I don't think it's bye weeks.
Really?
That's the real point projection.
You versus Jorge should be close. I don't know what.
I only have two. I only have 2 players on bye. In my starting lineup currently.
Week 13. You play Vince week 13, so that'll be so you got Jorge and Vince in 2 of your last weeks, and then who do you play in the final week? Where are you?
Yeah, this is the first week of back to the full
Brian.
circle here, right? Everyone's playing their week 1 opponent, I think, this week.
Oh, really?
Yep, we're on the
Go to the standings. It's time to rapid fire some hot takes here. Go to the standings.
All right, we are at the standings.
Who's getting the 6th seed? Gun to your head.
Yeah, honestly, Matt, that's a good question for you because you're the one. It's you, really. You, Brian, maybe Dylan fighting for it, but
I plan to
honestly,
fight.
I mean, if Jorge or Hugo start losing, they're in that same spot too.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can't.
We're all the same record right now. Me, Hugo, and Jorge. So it's.
I would say it's 5, 6, 7 in my eyes. Jorge, Matt, Brian, who are really the ones that are in contention for that 7 spot. So
with Puka being back, I think my points for right now is pretty low, and I think that 80-point week that I had that was fucking abysmal. It's definitely hurting that, but with Puka coming back, I think that's only gonna.
Dude, that 80-point week though, good point, is absolutely fucking huge because when you factor in that like. A lot of teams are scoring like around the 200 mark. Like Vinny scored like mid 200s. That's literally like a third of one of his weeks. So it's like that shit is gonna matter if your records are close.
That's right. I think honestly, you're in grave danger, Matt, because Brian's almost got you by 100 points. So all it's gonna take is for you to drop a week, he wins a week, and you automatically slide to 7. So
Brian's only getting healthier.
Yeah. So I think Brian's gonna steal the 6 personally.
I think now, like literally these next upcoming weeks are going to speak a lot for Brian because if he can get wins now and then McCaffrey comes back, then he has a real chance to make the playoffs. But if he starts sliding now, who knows when McCaffrey is actually coming back?
Is this a hot take? But this could potentially be a win in your in matchup for Matt and Brian this week. Because if Matt can beat Brian, then he'll go up by 2 weeks. He'll be 6-4. Brian goes down to 4-6. That will carry you a long way to the finish line here. So this is a big week for you, Matt.
Maybe now's the time to trade. Maybe now's the time to make the move. But
you want to say flowers there, Matt? You want to beat Brian this week?
What are you gonna ask for Zay though? 2 firsts?
I'd love that.
I bet you would.
Insane.
I bet you would love that.
Would you love to be in the circle of champions?
I would.
We do use lube.
Well, that's relieving. Literally.
What is up with Dylan's sexual fantasies? What kind of podcast is this?
It's all sex, dude. He's rock hard during this whole podcast.
We should have made it like a bingo sheet of this sexual things that Dylan might say during the fucking podcast.
I'm really worried. We don't know if he's wearing pants. I'm worried that all of a sudden it's like the screen's gonna go dark and it's gonna be fantasy after.
He did disappear from the podcast for a minute, dude. Who knows what for? But maybe it wants to take the pants off. Yeah.
I'm worried that the gloves are staying off or staying on when we freaking log out.
They're off. No, you didn't keep them off.
He's like mid-appointment over there. He's got all his doctor tools. He's had a mask on earlier too.
Yeah, he actually had that on before even the podcast. Like there was something he was doing before this.
It's a cup of body or something, dude.
I'm getting worried. This is actually an intervention for Dylan.
I live alone for a reason.
All right. I mean, I think your point about like I'm definitely on the fringe. My points are killing me right now. So if I lose to Brian this week, I might be fucked. But it's gonna be a climb back up. But if you guys want to take a look at this week's matchups, we'll kind of move on to that. Then I think that's all we got after that. Let's see.
Quick question for you, Steve. How important is a bye week in your eyes to you this year?
Truthfully, gun to my head, doesn't matter at all because I think there's always a thing of a bye week curse. Dylan knows it too. He'll speak to it too. When you beat me is when I came off the bye week and then I scored like 90 points. There's a real fucking thing about like the bye week curse. And every time I've ever had a bye in any fantasy league, I always lose the next week.
Remember, I saw Steve's soul exit his body and float up to heaven because he needed one catch years ago from Julio Jones in his prime. All he needed was one catch in the second half of a game, and he didn't get it. And I saw Steve, basically, he cried.
That was the year, though. This is an example of fantasy karma. That's the year that I had everybody sign that sorry for your loss greeting card. That's still an all-time power move on my part. But remember that, guys? You guys signed that sorry for your loss card, and then I never actually beat him.
I was with them, and Julio got nothing.
So I don't really care about the bye, to be honest. I mean, I guess in reality, the math is the math. Like, you get another chance at being close to, like, the championship, but I never find that it makes a difference. You're going to set your lineup anyways.
Didn't Brennan have a similar scenario where he had Lockett going and he needed, like, 2 points or something like that in one league, and he goose-egged him the entire game, and Brian ended up beating him? But it happens.
It does. Pain.
We missing Matt?
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, you become a silhouette. Matt's taking it after dark now.
Hold on a sec.
Yeah, what is going on? There's something like, I feel like there's something going on behind closed doors here.
Matt's gonna start putting on like a patient robe for Dylan or something.
The doors are wide open over here, Steve.
All right, fine, Dylan. Say no more.
Oh, jeez.
Hold on.
You still have the gloves on, dude?
Wait. let me get my face shield on. I don't want to get into that fecal matter. Careful, boys.
Oh, God.
Careful. We are in danger.
You guys can subscribe to Steve's OnlyFans. We'll post the link after the the podcast.
All right, talk about this matchup for a little bit here. Doing something.
Brennan's gonna win.
Yeah.
Boswell's gonna get -1. If you want me to talk about Boswell, I'll talk about Boswell. He's gonna get -1. You're gonna lose by 4, and it's gonna be so sweet to watch. See ya.
Yeah, Hugo wanted us to talk about Boswell. Vince dropped him. He picked him up. He thought that was a absolute incredible move on his part, and he was surprised he dropped him because he was number 1 kicker at the time. And Vince could have dropped like Kenny Gainwell or something, is what he was saying. But yeah.
I mean, at this point, Vinny's going to have a stacked team that he's going to have to drop like Neighbors or something like that. So I'm just kind of waiting for him to be so loaded that he's got to drop somebody like a absolute stud. It's going to have to happen. Look at this team. He's running out of bums. Vinny.
No, you know what he's going to do in classic Vinny fashion? He's going to do something, and God fucking forbid, Dylan, if it's you with the Zay Flowers, he's going to do something where he packages like 3 to 4 players for a player.
Yeah. And I'll still give him 2 firsts.
Let's not speak this into existence.
I know. I get worried about it.
All right. So you guys saying Hugo wins this matchup? I think Brennan probably has a chance. He's been putting up points lately, but
yeah, Brennan almost scored 200 last week.
I think he did score 200.
I think he was just shy, but I might.
Okay. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, you're right. Just shy. 197. It's pretty close, though.
Yeah, I think that's good enough to win. So I think he definitely has a chance. He just does have a lot of boomer bust players, so I think it just really is going to come down to his flexes. But I think Hugo is a safe bet on this one.
I'm going to go Brendan.
Hugo seems on the rise.
Hugo 184.
Is Matt like here? Is he saying anything? What's going on?
I'm here. You can't hear me?
I can't see you, which is the more concerning part.
All right.
I can hear you a little bit, but it just keeps hearing. All I keep hearing is
Yeah, patient confidentiality.
All right, pull up you and Brian, Matt. This is the matchup of the week, probably. So
this is a matchup of potentially the year, in my opinion, from a significance of the standings. This is a big one. This is a big fucking matchup, boys.
Show that search history.
Yeah, let's pull up the search history real quick and see what's going on there.
I'm worried about it.
Uh,
Whoa,
I want to
dude,
know if you
whoa.
guys can hear this. Can you guys hear that?
This
No.
has been the most dick-oriented podcast I've ever been on.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know why.
Damn
Why
it.
are we listening to Nirvana?
Cause there's a reason. I was trying to get the audio on here, and I can't do it. But go back. Where is it? There we go. You guys, is the sleeper back up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and put the video back on here. I am vengeance. Yeah, Brian, you saying you're vengeance, dude? I remember first fucking year we were in the championship and you beat me, dude. I'm fucking vengeance. This is my fucking revenge, and you beat me week 1, so fuck you.
Is that why I thought I heard in my dreams over the past week or so? You were just like, "Where's Puka?"
Yeah.
I feel so violated. Matt's wearing a Batman costume, deep breath. Dylan's been wearing gloves on and off the whole time. A lot of TikTok. I feel I need a shower after this.
It's been a good one. Yeah, I got Brian this week. I have no doubt in my mind. I think they're saying they're going to work McCaffrey back in slowly. We'll see if that happens. But he's projected to get 33, which I don't think he has in his lineup right now as IR. But it's not his lineup, right? Yeah. So, but I don't think he gets 33. Maybe he gets like 20. And then I think he's just going to take out what's his face, Slayton in his place. So, yeah, I like my matchups this week too. Puka didn't get suspended, so that's huge. Projected to beat him 56%. We're not that much of a projection whore, but I got Brian. I'm not worried.
You're not afraid of little Davy?
No.
Lil Davy is such an all-time nickname, honestly. But he's so consistent, dude. The Lions running back was awesome.
That team is just great, honestly. Great coaching,
Look at the
great
smile.
game plan.
He looks like a little Davy.
He does, honestly. He kind of looks like a little kid, his face.
He's not even that little. He's 230 pounds.
Yeah,
I know, but
he's a big running back.
Looks like someone put like the kid face filter on his face, dude, honestly. A little bit.
He looks like a kid who's like the first time trying to smile when you say cheese independently. He's like, cheese. He's like, just like not sure what to do.
Even with Tua back last week, I don't think Tyreek Dilley did that great. So I don't know.
He's definitely not as valuable as what his ADP was. He only had 5 targets last week. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right, Dylan.
He was like a top
What's your
10
thought?
receiver in the draft,
Tua
honestly, in a
watch?
redraft.
Is Tua washed?
I think Donald's gonna have a good week this week too.
No, Tua's not washed. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine until he's unconscious again.
Honestly, with Tua back, their offense looked like 10 times better. So I think they're going to be fine. They almost beat the Bills.
Steve, you want Tua? You said you have a little bit of a quarterback issue.
I'm not going to pay the cost of what you're asking.
The cost isn't too much.
Damn, bro. Look at Baker.
Brain
QB2.
dead, dude. He's literally brain dead.
Yeah, that is wild. Who would've
Yeah,
thought?
Baker's baller.
He's getting it done even without freaking he still had a good game without Godwin or Mike Evans.
Yeah.
He's hurt. He's hurt right now too. So he didn't even play today or practice today. So I don't know. He's banged up. Kareem Hunt's banged up. It's two of his better players, I feel like, right now. And Kelsey's been kind of he's actually come back a little bit.
Pop in the past 2 weeks. Pop.
Yeah. Look how many targets he had, dude. 16 targets.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were expecting. Maybe that's a little concerning to me, but
Give some of those targets to fucking Worthy, god damn it. What the fuck is that? 16 to a 35 or 30-year-old fucking tight end, dude. Get the hell out of here.
all right, you guys are in this podcast here. What do you guys got to say to each other? Talk shit.
Oh, I don't know.
Dylan versus Marty.
Did you guys see how nasty Saquon looked last week, dude? Ooh.
I'm
He
just hoping
he might be the most talented running back in the league. I will say that just flat out right now. That hurdle was one of the nicest plays I've ever seen in the NFL.
that was a nice play. To talk a little bit of shit, I'm hoping that Worthy gets you -1 again. Brees Hall has sucked all year. Barkley's going to kill me. Shepard, I hope he stays hurt. Just for a week, minor. Eckler, if Brian Robinson comes back, he's going to become kind of useless. So, I don't know. I think I can win.
It's definitely possible. My team is hurt right now. I think there is an opportunity for you to squeak out a win. I don't see it, but I think I don't know.
There's 3 players in the league that I don't know the actual records, but that I feel like I just have their numbers. and it's Brendan, who everybody has Brendan's number. Hugo, I am Hugo's kryptonite, and you, Marty. If I have no business beating you as much as I beat you.
Yeah, I think Brendan is the same. For whatever reason, I just struggle with Brendan.
Some people just have those just thorns that they just can't get rid of.
Can we?
But I think that is in the past at this point here. I think my team is.
Didn't I beat you week 1?
Hell no.
Oh no, I got curb stomped. Well, that's perfect. That means I'm due.
Yeah, you know what? You do. Like I said, you and Brennan, I still play both of you guys. I think one of you might squeak out a win against me, but I don't think it's this week.
I plan on squeaking.
I don't think it's this week, but I think my matchups are too juicy.
Talking about the backwards hurdle, what's everybody's favorite football play? For me, honestly, a good man-child stiff arm that just puts a guy to the ground.
Derek Henry.
Big old Woody.
The Minneapolis Miracle is my favorite play, I think, where Stephon Diggs caught the touchdown in the playoffs.
That was a good play.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite NFL play. I could watch that play and still get hyped every single time.
I love the ecstasy of an onside kick recovery. I don't know why it's such a simple play, but it's happened so little that when it actually happens, it's like, oh shit, here we go.
Nothing gets me harder than a punt pinning the other team on their own 1 yard line. That is the best play in football.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That gives you an erection?
Yeah. Rock hard.
When we were watching the game though at Hugo's place, like all of us freaked out when we were watching Saquon make that play. So I think that was a pretty cool moment, honestly. But not my favorite, but that was still pretty epic.
Yeah, a hurdle is definitely up there. Like if you can just completely
backwards
jump over a
hurdle.
player, that's one that's incredibly athletic, and two, absolutely embarrassing if you're a defender. Like that's definitely gotta be up there too.
Well, he broke a tackle, made a spin move, and then did a
backwards hurdle is insane. I don't think I've ever seen that. Like that was an incredible feat.
Yeah. Did you see the video of the bench reaction because it was right in front of the Philly sideline? It's pretty funny.
Yeah, no one could believe it on the sideline either. It's one of the best plays of the year. And honestly,
Devontae Smith's catch was nuts too. Oh yeah, and Garrett Wilson's catch was pretty sick too.
That was this comparable to Odell.
Can we talk about that catch for a second? That's worth bringing up in this podcast.
Garrett is a baller.
How is the shin hitting a body part, but the heel hitting and then the toes going out of bounds is not?
I thought he was out of bounds when I saw that.
What kind of anatomical fuckery is that?
Yeah. Did you see the Pickens one where it's the same foot twice? And I was like, I've never seen that, and I'm surprised that's not allowed. Like tap the same foot twice.
Yeah, it wasn't a catch though, right? Right.
It was a catch. He just didn't get 2 feet because he tapped the same foot in twice.
Yeah, but they didn't call it a catch. 2 feet doesn't imply 2 different feet, right?
Yeah, that's why I was like, how has this never come up before?
Yeah, that is interesting.
True.
Yeah, some incredible plays the past few weeks here. Let's see. We got also I'll take Marty in that matchup, by the way. I don't think I said that, but it wasn't obvious. But sorry, Dylan. We got Vincent Jorge. I think this will be one of the better matchups of the week.
I still can't believe how much of a disappointment Etienne has been this year, dude. He was the running back like 2 or 3 last year. I don't know what he is right now, but
of the year.
And Bigsby is getting more and more usage every single week too, which is kind of wild.
That's also one of the things is that's surprising to me. I think of all the big ticket things to take away, and then I think we could probably get close to wrapping up unless you guys have like other thoughts or whatever, is Dynasty, you can just like never, like, don't get rid of a player till you absolutely have to. Matt, we were talking before this year because you had Bigsby in another Dynasty, like he hadn't done shit for like all this time, and then this year he like looks like a viable possible player. Talked about Tillman earlier. Like sometimes people just take forever to start popping. Nico took a little bit for a couple years. Like if you think that the guy is good, like just hold on to him as long as you can.
Quentin Johnson for Brian.
He's having a good year so far. I think he's got to take the L on Kendre Miller though.
What about Treylon Burks? Doesn't seem like that's ever really going to work out.
What do you think about that guy?
Yeah, Treylon. I hate him so much. What a fucking bum. That guy.
Looking back,
bum.
Would you redo that deal? Looking back, I would like to see honestly, who you took with that first rounder.
No,
one first out of it.
So I got a first out of it,
shit.
but I ended up
It's a
trading it
Bijan
away because
deal,
I just got horny like usual and I got rid of it.
I
No,
mean,
not Tyler. Trey
that
No,
was a
no,
hell of a
no.
deal for the Eagles too, honestly.
Oh, this is Tyler. What the fuck? I'll look at the wrong
Yeah.
Titan. Like, wait, Vince took him? I'm like, what's going on
He's
here?
on IR, unfortunately.
Oh, IR.
Wasn't it?
Shit.
You know what's crazy is it was Traylon. Dude, we do so many trades back and forth. It was Traylon, JK, and Murray, yeah. And then wait,
You drafted him, Steve, with the 5th overall, dude.
dude, he was supposed to be good, and that was the year that Alex took Olave before me, and I actually was at 3, and I traded with Marty, so Marty could get London. I moved back from 3 to 5, and Marty gave me an extra second.
Yeah, that was actually a good pick for me. London has been pretty good.
Traylon sucks, honestly, but then, dude, I got Dobbins back from you. Who did you take with that first? Do you know?
I traded it. Couldn't tell you.
Of course you traded it, dude. Of course you did.
Probably
You
to
could not
Vince.
hold on to a pick.
Oh, actually, so I think that was part of the Miles Sanders trade.
No, Jesus.
Oh,
So
God.
what you're telling me is the Miles Sanders trade was all my fault.
Basically, what I'm telling you is I fucked up bad.
Let's see. 2025 first, was that the same pick?
I-
That you-
Think so. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm
Let's see.
sure I gave it to Vinny.
Oh, you
He's a
probably
sweet
did.
talker, man. He's a sweet talker, and I
All right,
can't stop listening.
Last segment, unless you guys got things. Dylan, we need to hear your top 3
Yeah, it was
most regretted
2025
was.
Team 7.
Yeah. we need to hear your top 3 most regretted trades in the fantasy league.
Does it have to be Dylan specific?
His specific deals, yep.
Oh,
Those
okay.
kids, we need to hear it.
Do you want my opinion or everybody else's opinion of me?
No, I want you to
Your
be
own
first
opinion.
and Tell us your own regret.
I mean, they're probably the same.
My own
like-
opinion of you is pretty sketchy, dude. After all this freaking sex
Like,
talk.
what we personally think of Dylan the person? Yeah.
You're acting like it's gonna be a huge difference.
Honestly, I would probably say, Miles Sanders, of course, has to be number 1.
Yep.
Honestly, not that it really mattered that much, but I just thought it was so ironic that I traded for Deshaun Watson and he was on my team for about 3 quarters, and then blew out his Achilles. But so that's up there. Nothing necessarily stands out dramatically. I'm wondering how did I get Brandon Cooks?
How did you get Brandon Cooks?
I got
So-
Brandon Cooks and Darren Waller in his prime at the time. Like
Oh,
40.
well, it was with Vince. Why wouldn't it be with Vince? You fucking guys are in cahoots, dude. Guys are in cahoots.
Honestly, that's looking back on that trade. That's kind of meh. Anyways,
Yeah,
Vince
that
got a
was kinda-
second, but
That one's kind of gross. Honestly, I'd probably regret giving up. Jordan Addison hasn't really done that much, but I feel like getting Connor and Dobbs for Addison was just okay. Hugo caught me getting a horny moment.
Is the Connor for Roshan Johnson not a regret too? In that one?
No, because Roshan's got as many touchdowns as Connor this year, I think.
I
That just
don't
can't
think
be
that's true.
That just can't be true.
Well,
Yeah.
Roshan's got 4.
Where is Roshan? Is he in your starting lineup? Oh my God, he
yeah.
is. Oh yeah, he's RB48.
And James Conner has 4, you bitch. I told you. They have the same amount of touchdowns.
Dude, but look at the
So
fantasy
all of his
points
points are
difference.
basically from the touchdowns itself, nothing else.
Doesn't matter. The stats don't lie, baby. Look at the age difference.
Yeah, that's why. This is why you're losing to Marty.
No, but go there, dude. You technically gave me a higher pick there too.
Yeah, because
Honestly,
Yeah.
dude, the biggest mistake was trying to have you name a top 3. There's too many, dude.
I black out half the time. I make
Think
it
of how many times did we talk Waddle over the last 8 to 10 months until you actually traded him? And it was when you were wicked horny.
Probably twice.
No, we talked all the time. We had like a 45-minute phone call one time about it.
I hate to say it.
That's true.
But I think 2 firsts for Miles Sanders is worse than 2 firsts than Judy. So
Oh,
that might be the worst trade of all time in
Because at
this
least
league.
Judy is still like somewhat like relevant, younger. Like he's still. You could put Judy in a starting lineup if you need.
I don't
Judy's-
think Miles Sanders is getting a job after this contract.
Yeah, I think Miles Sanders is done. Unfortunately, I think after this he'll start applying to Ocean State job lot.
Do you guys honestly think a first rounder is like worth much? Honestly,
Yes.
Like my opinions on draft picks have switched around quite a bit.
I mean, you got McConkey in a first. He's totally worth the first. I
I know,
think
but think
Vince
of
got
like what you move a first for. Like, I don't know, if I don't know,
Vince
like
got
2.
neighbors. I think that is a slam dunk of a first.
Like, would you trade 2 McConkeys for like, a Justin Jefferson or something, like definitely. And I feel like not that Jorge would definitely do 2 firsts for him, but you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, I think
the
it really
mystery box
depends.
thing is the real thing.
I mean, Marvin Harrison was 101. I mean, across the board and all pretty much every redraft done or dynasty rookie drafts, and he's only wide receiver 23. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's still early to make a judgment call on how good he's going to be, but for the 101, I would have figured he'd be like a top 15 guy or something. I mean, he's not too far from that. So I don't know.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. He took Odunze as well. I feel like he's been kind of a very slow start too.
Odunze's teeing up Lola.
Yeah, he's starting to. I mean, I think him and Caleb are finally starting to figure something out. But I mean,
But I think if you were to redo it,
so.
if you were to redo it, he should have definitely took Bowers. That's what we should have done. We should have done a redraft. We should have done a redraft of round 1. He should have definitely took Bowers or Brian Thomas, honestly, at that spot.
Yeah, I would have taken Brian Thomas probably over Harrison and Odunze. I mean, Neighbors probably still be 1. And then Bowers and then Thomas, probably the top 3, I would say. And then Daniels probably would be up there too, top 5, knowing how good he has been, top 3 quarterback.
I think we should speak this into the universe now so the whole league is aware, though, that realistically, because Vinny's got my pick next year, which will probably be either like 2 or 3 overall, whoever picks before me, i.e. probably Danny or whoever has Danny's pick, make sure you take Ashton Jancy so that way Vinny does not get better running backs.
Yeah.
Jancy's a baller, and it's Brian that has all those picks.
Does he go 1 overall, you think, in our draft next year?
I think he should.
Yeah.
It depends on where he goes, honestly, but if he goes to somewhere like a Cowboys or things like that,
stock through the roof.
Then he'd be insane. Yeah, if he has a clear starting path, I think he's like, I don't know. Usually rookies that have a clear starting path usually go number 1 in our league. Like think about Najee, Bijan. Like if they have clear playing time,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Don't forget about Clyde.
Dude, I just dropped him recently, and it pained me to do it because he just like hasn't done anything. And like, dude, remember that's actually the famous reverse trade.
Oh, you were right on my couch, dude. Dude, I was drunk. I didn't want to actually do that trade.
A lot of league reminiscing tonight. That was a tough one. That's a tough look. I'll own that one. That was a tough look for me.
Yeah, that was a black eye for the league.
You think that will ever happen again?
Reverse trade? No. I don't think so.
Have you seen Steve? For sure.
I like to think that that's a younger version of me. I don't think I'd be like begging for someone to reverse trade. That was like 4 years ago, dude. I like to think I'm a little more mature now, hopefully.
You were the one that literally just shook your bare ass just about on screen 20 years ago.
We all have our moments of weakness.
All right, so to wrap up here, we don't think we really talked much about this matchup, but I think this is going to be a cakewalk for Steve. This should be another win.
I don't like that though, dude. Those are the kind of matchups that like will disappoint the shit out of you because you're just locking in as a win and it just isn't. Like scroll down, like dude, he's got Mooney, he like Thomas, like there's a potential. It will really kill me because he's starting Demarcus Robinson, who I dropped, and then Westbrook-Ikhine, who we just picked up today.
Dude, if you're nervous about Westbrook-Ikhine, you need to look in the mirror.
Dude, do you know my fantasy luck? I should be
Dude, you're in first. What are you talking about?
Better than most.
Ikhine is gonna pop for like 35 points this week out of the clouds. It's exactly how I've seen this movie before.
Oh, dude, Danny's bench is in trouble. I'm looking at it again. He's got a lot of injuries, a lot of buys this week too. That's why he's starting those guys.
Oh, that's one. We didn't really talk much about trades. I thought he sold low on McLaurin.
I thought so too, honestly. I think that was a good deal for Brennan.
2nd and a 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think though? He probably could have got a first though, or
I think he's like right on that cusp of a first.
Like you say, definitely, but I don't think anyone offered him a first.
I don't know if I would offer a first for McLaurin.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I'd offer a second.
I think it was a fair trade. I would say probably give the edge to Brennan slightly, but
yeah.
Well,
second and third.
Danny's value, like he values Olave is more than a first, and I think if you're basing on this year, McLaurin and Olave should be pretty similar value, if not maybe McLaurin a little more because he has Jaden Daniels for the next couple of years.
I think he might have been able to at least get another third, a 2nd and 2/3.
Yeah, but McLaurin's kind of old, isn't he? He's like 30.
Yeah, but he's also a top 15. I think he's top 10 right now for a receiver.
I think McLaurin's like 27, 28, isn't he?
No, I think he's older than you're thinking.
I think he's 29. But He's on the right.
Go up on the right. Keep
Oh,
going.
Ben's
Keep going.
seven. There we go.
He's a
He's
top
29.
10 receiver.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
top 10 receiver right now.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 7 actually. Yeah. No. Maybe he could have gone first, but I don't think he said I was talking to him about it. He didn't say anyone offered him a first
Yeah,
one,
people
so.
might not have given him a first, but I think he still probably could have gotten 2 seconds or a second and 2/3.
Yeah,
I know
maybe.
that's not that much, but
I mean, seconds can be good. So you got
yeah.
a third too.
I think that was a big win for Brennan, though. I think
Yeah.
that made Brennan's team actually more of a contender right now, more of a chance to make the playoffs. But I think he's going to fall short. But I think he's team number 7 or 8, maybe a chance to be 6. So
Yeah, I agree.
although I think Hugo hits him this week hard.
Yeah, I don't think he's
Got a
winning
tough
this
matchup.
week, but all right, so that covers all the matchups pretty much. Taking Steve. I don't know. Yeah, pretty sure you guys aren't
Yeah.
taking Danny, right?
Not this week.
Nah,
All
I'm
right.
thinking Steve.
I think we pretty much covered everything. We kind of already talked about like surprises and disappointments already kind of mixed in. We're gonna end on that, but I think we already kind of mixed it in.
I think in general, I don't know if we talk about surprise teams and disappointing teams. Scroll down. I'm going to be totally honest. I think disappointing team has to kind of be Brian, has to kind of be Jorge. And honestly, honorable mention, I think Dylan. Because there's just like, where's the future hope? Like Brendan's lineup is actually looking better. Like Danny's trying to do some stuff for his lineup. He's got some first rounders. Like you just got the Hugo first and stuff for me. But like, I just don't know who's going to be filling out that roster to get you at 200 points a week, like every week in the next foreseeable future. I'm just worried you're going to be stuck in this spot a little bit. Then as soon as you start getting someone, you're going to trade Hornium. I think surprise is, I think in a positive way. I think, Matt, you're a surprise so far based off of being able to hold your own despite the injuries. I think Hugo's a surprise based off what his like shit talking. And I honestly think I'm a surprise being first. I didn't expect myself to be first at this point of the season, but here we are.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of fears for you, Steve, though, that with your luck, that it's going to make you so like my team, I got this, and it's just going to shatter.
No, I'm going to be honest, dude. I'm so numb to it now. I just expect.
Yankees losing the World Series, his fantasy team on top for now. It's going to be, yeah. The pain is just unbelievable.
I think we all just collectively felt that with baseball this year. It was like, yep. It was like, all right, yeah, we're losing. It's like, I put out the best team I can, and then if it happens, it's like, all right, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
You need a hug, Steve.
I don't think I've gotten a single playoff win in this league, so I'm going to be pessimistic for the rest of the season, pretty much. Just going to be with Matt, with my Batman mask and sulking in the corner.
Hey, this isn't me sulking. I'm determined, dude. This is vengeance, dude. Come for Brian.
I did notice that your lighting got significantly darker, Matt, which has me equally concerned and aroused.
Oh, here we go again.
Steve just ripped ass, dude. So clear as day.
I'm hurting.
You're hurting, dude. Go take a shit.
30 minutes ago, dude.
And we know he doesn't have pants on, dude. There's a chance he just mudded his chair.
Nah, dude, I'm in space. It's getting dropped.
Hope you have some
All right.
fabric cleaner in that house of yours. All right.
Wrap it up here. I'll get this uploaded tonight and then good to go. Well, next podcast will be in probably like 3 or 4 weeks right before the trade deadline. We'll just do a probably podcast the week of the trade deadline or something like that. Maybe the week after. We'll see.
When is
And
the
then-
trade deadline?
Week 12, I'm pretty sure. I'll
Posting an
post it
idea.
in the chat. I'll post it in the
Posting an
chat,
idea.
but
What day is it?
it's basically
Tuesday.
it ends when the Monday night game is over.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Here's my proposal. Push it to a weekend day. We do a live podcast on draft day. Have some beers, do our thing. Let them come in like we're ESPN Schefter.
On trade deadline day, you mean?
Yeah,
Yep,
why
have
did
it.
you say draft day? Who are we drafting?
I'm not good. I'm not doing well up here right now.
You gotta take a shit, dude. It's all
Yeah,
talk. He's
Yeah,
turtling. He's turtling.
Very doggy. It comes in and out of his shell.
Very doggy. Yeah, that'll be I'll try to get some people together for that and see who wants to do it and open to ideas. But yeah, then we'll talk about trade deadline stuff. Another week quarter or third quarter check-in. So and then we'll do another one after that for the playoff preview. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been real fun. Nice little surprise from Brian tonight too. Jump in here and bounce. But yeah, any closing thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up?
Love this league. Love my friends. That's my thoughts.
I don't think you're making the playoffs, Brennan, from that voicemail, but just a thought. But no. Thanks for joining, boys.
Thanks, boys.
All right,
Big
good
hugs,
stuff.
little kisses.
Dynasty Daddies
Yeah.
out.
Steve, make sure you hug somebody tonight.
Jesus, that's so
Wash your hands first, though, dude. After that shit.
Wait.
What?
I have one more surprise.
Oh, no.
No, dude.
What's that
Just
brown
fart?
stain?
Yeah, dude. Check your fucking your underwear, dude. I think we just saw a little shit. All right, the Dynasty Daddies out later.